Welcome to the deep dive. You've pulled together some really interesting sources for us today, all looking at this, top-tier smartphone battle. We're talking Apple's new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max against Samsung's Galaxy S24, the S25 Ultra that everyone's talking about, and even checking out Xiaomi's 15 Ultra and the OnePlus 13.
Yeah, it's quite the lineup.
It is, and we've got everything from detailed reviews, hands-on videos, user comments. It feels like a really good mix. So our mission basically is to pull out the key stuff, right?
Yeah.
Help people figure out this crowded space.
Absolutely. And the sources give us a great perspective. Phone Arena's got that detailed comparison. iPhone 16 Pro versus the S24, good starting point.
Okay.
Then Tom's Guide has a video on the 16 Pro Max and S25 Ultra. Good to see them in action.
Yeah, video helps.
And What Hi-Fi compares the S25 Ultra and iPhone 16 Pro Max, too. Plus, we've got user forums talking OnePlus 13, and even a Reddit post from someone who actually switched iPhone 16 Pro Max to an S25 Ultra.
Oh, interesting. Real-world experience.
Exactly. That mix of pro reviews and, just everyday use, that's what we want to dig into.
Perfect. So the big question is, how do these things actually stack up? We need to look at, everything. Design, feel, the display.
Performance, cameras.
Cameras are huge, yeah. Battery life, any unique features. Basically, trying to figure out what matters most depending on, what you actually need from a phone.
Makes sense.
So where do we start? First impressions count, right? Design and size.
Yeah, good place. So the iPhone 16 Pro, it keeps that titanium frame like the 15 Pro. Feels premium, strong.
Right. Familiar feel.
But it's slightly taller and wider this year.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is the screen's bigger, 6.3 inches. But they managed to by shrinking the bezels, like really thin now, 1.2 millimeters.
Wow. Okay, so more screen, less border.
Pretty much. Makes it feel more immersive. They've also added this new camera control button, besides the action button.
Uh-huh. 2 buttons now.
Yeah. Some early thoughts are maybe the placement's a bit awkward. For one-handed use, maybe. Something to, feel out yourself.
Definitely something to try in person. Colors.
The usual suspects mostly.
Okay.
Black, white, natural titanium, and a new one, desert titanium, weighs 199 grams. Dimensions are about 149.6 by 71.5 by 8.25 millimeters.
Okay, so bigger screen, maybe a slightly different feel with that new button. How does Samsung's S24 compare on design?
The S24 goes for aluminum flat design. And based on the leaks, it looks like the more compact one overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, reportedly thinner, quite a bit lighter, actually 168 grams shorter, narrower. If you want something that feels smaller in the pocket, this might be it.
Okay, that's a key difference.
Screen's slightly smaller, 6.2 inches, and lots of colors. Honest black, marble gray, cobalt violet, amber yellow, plus some online ones like jade green, sapphire blue, sandstone orange.
Oh, yeah, lots of choice there.
Dimensionally, it's roughly 147 by 70.6 by 7.6 millimeters.
Yeah.
Noticeably lighter than the iPhone 16 Pro.
Got it. S24 for compactness. What about the big one, the S25 Ultra? Is that still titanium?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
S25 Ultra also gets the titanium frame. And a bigger screen, again, 6.9 inches, even up from the S24 Ultra's 6.
Huge screen.
It is. But they've apparently shrunk the bezels again, like 15% thinner than the last Ultra. So it might not feel that much bigger overall.
Clever.
And get this, despite the bigger screen, it's supposedly lighter than the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Comes in at 218 grams versus 227.
Lighter with a bigger screen. How'd they manage that?
Good engineering, I guess.
Oh.
The design's also a bit more rounded on the corners, generally flatter, might be more comfy to hold. And it's got the new Corning Gorilla Armor 2 for protection.
Okay, so S25 Ultra, big screen, premium materials, but surprisingly light. What about the others? Xiaomi, OnePlus, design-wise?
Xiaomi's 15 Ultra is a bit different. Faux leather back, plastic frame. The standout thing is that massive circular camera bump on the back.
Right. You can't miss that.
Definitely distinctive, probably packs good cameras, but you wonder about ergonomics, right? How it feels in the hand, does it wobble on a table?
Good point. And the iPhone 16 Pro Max, sticking with the formula.
Pretty much. Titanium frame, frosted glass back, rounded edges. It's a design they've refined, generally feels comfortable, premium.
Okay, so a real range. Lightweight S24, the big but light S25 Ultra, Apple's familiar premium feel, or Xiaomi's camera focus look. Makes sense. Let's talk displays. What are we looking at literally?
Right. iPhone 16 Pro, that 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR we mentioned. XDR means, great dynamic range, bright highlights, deep blacks, looks really vivid. Plus promotion, the adaptive 120 hertz refresh rate, Makes scrolling animations just feel really smooth.
Yeah, 120 hertz is nice.
Still got a dynamic island up top for alerts and stuff, those super thin 1.2 millimeter bezels. And they say the ceramic shield glass is tougher this year.
Ah.
And a lower minimum brightness down to 1 nit.
Oh, that is low. Good for nighttime.
But definitely easier on the eyes in the dark.
Okay. How does the S24's display compare?
S24 has a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X. AMOLEDs are great for colors, contrast. The 2X means it also does up to 120 hertz, adaptive switching between 1 and 120 hertz to save battery. Now, Phone Arena's tests showed it actually got brighter than the iPhone 16 Pro when the whole screen was white, like 1,345 nits versus 1039.
Interesting. So potentially better outdoors.
Could be in some situations. Bezels are slightly thicker, though, 1.5 millimeter, and it uses the punch hole camera cutout, not the dynamic island. Plus that ultrasonic fingerprint scanner under the screen.
Right, fingerprint versus Face ID. So swings and roundabouts. iPhone has thinner bezels, that super low brightness. S24, maybe brighter overall sometimes. What about the big guys? Pro Max versus S25 Ultra display.
Okay, S25 Ultra, big 6.9-inch screen. And the brightness, wow, max brightness quoted at 2,600 nits.
2,600, that's really bright.
Yeah, should be fantastic outdoors, even in direct sun. It also does 4K resolution at 120 hertz. And they have this new feature called ProScaler.
ProScaler, what's that?
It's supposed to intelligently upscale lower-res content, make it look sharper, add detail. Some reviews say it works quite well, especially for streaming video.
Oh, clever trick.
Yeah.
And the iPhone 16 Pro Max display.
Also 6.9 inches, also flat this year. Peak brightness is 2,000 nits, so still very bright, just not as high as the S25 Ultra spec. Same 4K at 120 hertz capability. Keeps the dynamic island. And that flat design, some people prefer it. Maybe feels more durable, less accidental touches when gaming.
Right, the curved edge debate. What about Xiaomi? They claimed super bright.
But they did, yeah. On paper, the 15 Ultra was meant to be the brightest, but some real-world tests found it wasn't quite as impressive outdoors as the spec suggested. It does have curved edges, which can be a usability thing, and maybe slightly thicker bezels.
Okay, so it sounds like Samsung's really pushing brightness and that upscaling tech with the S25 Ultra. iPhone 16 Pro Max sticks with flat, which is good for some users. Interesting trade-offs. Let's dive under the hood. Performance software.
Right. iPhone 16 Pro gets the new A18 Pro chip, second gen 3 nanometer, so it should be powerful and efficient.
Apple Silicon, always fast.
Yep. Mix of performance and efficiency cores, 6-core GPU, 16-core neural engine for all the AI stuff, Apple Intelligence. They also mentioned better thermal management, so it should hopefully sustain performance better.
Less throttling, maybe.
That seems to be the goal. Comes with 8 GB RAM, storage from 128 GB up to a terabyte. Supports Wi-Fi 7, new Snapdragon X75 modem for 5G. Launches with iOS 18, and we're already seeing updates like 18.2 adding AI features, Image Playground, Genmoji, ChatGPT, and Siri.
Lots of AI stuff coming online.
Definitely. And more expected with 18.3, probably more advanced Siri.
Okay. Apple's package, strong chip, tight hardware-software integration. How does the Android side compete on power?
Samsung Galaxy S24, in the US at least, uses a custom Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. Also a top-end chip, great performance, comes with 8 GB RAM, 128 or 256 GB storage. Maybe a bit limiting on storage for some. Worth considering if you need more space.
Yeah, 128 can fill up fast.
And interestingly, while the hardware supports Wi-Fi 7, Samsung seems to have disabled it in the US model. Maybe for global consistency.
Strange.
It runs Samsung's One UI 6.1 based on Android 14. We'll get One UI 7 on Android 15 later. The big deal here is Samsung's promising 7 years of software updates.
7 years? Wow, that's huge for longevity.
It really is. Big commitment, great value if you keep your phone a long time.
Definitely. What about the S25 Ultra's performance? Even beefier.
Yeah, steps up to the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, even more power. And it gets 12 GB of RAM standard across all storage options.
12 GB standard. Nice.
Should handle multitasking, heavy apps even better. Launches with One UI 7 on Android 15 and also gets that 7-year update promise.
Okay. And Xiaomi and OnePlus?
Xiaomi 15 Ultra also uses a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, runs their HyperOS. The Reddit threads mentioned OnePlus 13 also packs impressive specs, sometimes 16 GB RAM even, often at a lower price.
The value proposition.
Right, but the trade-off is usually shorter OS update support. Maybe 4 years was mentioned, something to weigh up.
Absolutely. So top performance across the board on Android, but Samsung's long software support really stands out.
Okay, let's get to the cameras. Often the deciding factor. Right?
For many people, yeah. iPhone 16 Pro, get some nice upgrades here. Main camera is 48MP fusion, bigger sensor, should mean better light gathering, better pics, especially when it's dark.
Bigger sensor, always good.
The ultra-wide is also boosted to 48MP, wider aperture too. Again, more light, better low light, maybe shallower depth of field. And the big one, the telephoto, is now 5x optical zoom, tetraprism design.
5x on the Pro, not just the Max.
Exactly. Big jump from 3x. Uses that periscope-style lens, brings it much closer to the Max's zoom. They've also got enhanced photographic styles, that new camera control button. Oh, and 4K video at 120 fps, plus a new 4-mic setup with AI audio mixing for better sound and videos.
Wow, that's a lot of camera upgrades for the standard Pro model.
Right.
Hey, what's Samsung doing with the S24 camera?
S24 has a 50MP main, f1.8 aperture, a 10MP telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and a 12MP ultra-wide. Seems like less hardware change from the S23, more focus on software tweaks this year. Refining rather than replacing. How did it compare in tests?
PhoneArena's testing found the iPhone 16 Pro generally better overall for photos, especially ultra-wide and zoom. But the S24 did well with its main camera and selfies.
Okay.
For video, iPhone seemed slightly ahead, particularly zoomed in, though the S24 was fine for regular video.
Interesting how they trade blows. So the big camera fight, iPhone 16 Pro Max versus S25 Ultra.
Right, S25 Ultra goes all out on specs. 200MP main sensor.
200 megapixels.
Yeah, plus a 50MP ultra-wide, a 10MP regular telephoto, and a 50MP periscope telephoto. Suggests serious zoom potential and detail. Samsung's also pushing their AI photo editing hard, upgraded generative fill, things like that.
AI magic for photos. How did they compare in the video test?
Tom's Guides video showed the iPhone handled bright sun glare a bit better on the ultra-wide, kept more definition when panning, looked brighter overall too.
Okay, iPhone Edge on ultra-wide maybe?
But the S25 Ultra did better slow-mo 240 fps to 1080p versus the iPhone 720p. And it seemed to show slightly more detail in standard video of a person and also a 10x zoom, though neither was amazing at 10x apparently. They did note the iPhone footage got a bit noisy and artifacty when pushed to 15x zoom.
So iPhone maybe better handling tricky light, consistently good video dynamic range, but Samsung pushing resolution, zoom reach, and AI editing. What did the Reddit users say about the cameras, the one who switched?
Yeah, that was interesting. They really noticed a difference in artificial light. Said the iPhone often looked brighter straight out of the camera, felt their old S20 FE sometimes did better indoors than the new S25 Ultra.
Really? Surprising.
Suggested the S25 Ultra might underexpose sometimes in those conditions.
Yeah.
People recommended tweaking exposure manually or maybe using the 50MP or 200MP modes could help. Shutter lag was another point capturing moving kids or pets. iPhone was seen as more reliable, less blur.
That point-and-shoot simplicity versus needing to adjust settings, a common theme.
Definitely. Some users apparently even switched back to iPhone because of camera frustrations with Samsung. Though Geeky Gadgets Comparison put the Xiaomi 15 Ultra right up there, especially for daytime shots, telephoto, macro, and even low-light video.
So Xiaomi's a real photo contender, too. Man, there's no single winner here, is there? Really depends what kind of photos or videos you take.
Exactly. Point-shoot ease, versatile zoom, low light, AI tricks. Different phones excel at different things.
Okay. Let's talk power, keeping these things running, battery and charging.
Right. iPhone 16 Pro gets a battery bump. 3582 mAh, up from the 15 Pro, supports 27W wired charging and faster MagSafe wireless now 25W, up from 15W. Also Q2 compatible.
Faster wireless is good. How's the actual life?
PhoneArena estimated about 6 hours, 35 minutes of their mixed usage. Charging took about 1 hour, 34 minutes wired, 1 hour, 44 wireless. You get about 58% in 30 minutes wired, 50% wireless.
Okay, decent specs. How's the Galaxy S24 compare?
S24 has a slightly larger 4,000 mAh battery. Charging is 25W wired, 15W wireless. Battery life estimate from PhoneArena was very similar, 6 hours, 37 minutes.
Almost identical. Charging times.
Wired was actually a bit faster, 1 hour, 12 minutes, full charge, 56% in 30 minutes. But wireless was slower, nearly 1 hour, 50 minutes full, only 26% in 30 minutes.
So S24 faster wired, iPhone 16 Pro much faster wireless. Interesting. What about the Ultras and the Max?
Samsung S25 Ultra packs a big 5,000 mAh battery, generally known for solid all-day life. But wireless charging is still that slower 15W.
Still 15W on the Ultra, okay.
iPhone 16 Pro Max has a 4685 mAh battery, also usually good for a full day. But yeah, its charging speeds, especially wired, often lag behind some Android flagships.
Right, Apple's usually more conservative there. Xiaomi?
Xiaomi 15 Ultra has the biggest battery here, 5410 mAh, and it wins on wireless charging speed, supports a crazy 80 W.
80-watt wireless,
Yeah.
wow.
And that Reddit user who switched to the S25 Ultra specifically mentioned its battery life was stellar. No stutters, lasted all day easily.
Good to hear. So Xiaomi for battery capacity and crazy fast wireless. S25 Ultra is reliable all day. iPhone 16 Pro Max solid too, but charging isn't the fastest. Got it. What about unique features, the little things that set them apart?
iPhone 16 Pro has the action button, that new camera control button, dynamic island, Face ID, of course, and now spatial audio capture for video, plus that AI audio mix for clearer sound.
Apple's ecosystem strengths and user interface things. Samsung S24.
Big focus on Galaxy AI. Summaries, transcripts, live translate, generative photo editing, circle to search, lots of AI tools.
Yeah, AI is everywhere.
Plus the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, Samsung DeX for that desktop mode, and the S Pen on the S24 Ultra, obviously.
Right, the S Pen is a huge differentiator for the Ultra.
And those AI features will likely be even better on the S25 Ultra, which also has the S Pen. Xiaomi's unique thing is that optional photography kit accessory.
For the real camera nerds.
Pretty much. The Reddit threads also brought up the S25 Ultra, having two telephoto cameras, one being a periscope for longer zoom and mmWave 5G support as advantages over, say, the OnePlus 13 and maybe the iPhone 16 Pro Max, depending on the specific zoom needs.
Okay, so Samsung's betting big on AI and productivity with DeX and S Pen. Xiaomi offers that photo kit. Apple sticks to its integrated features. That tech radar piece about accessibility was really striking too.
Yeah. The author with impaired vision finding the 5x telephoto on both the iPhone 16 Pro Max and S25 Ultra, super helpful.
Exactly. Using it at the zoo to actually see the animals said it was essential. And the iPhone's low light mode helped in dark areas.
It's a great point. Shows how these camera improvements aren't just specs on a sheet. They can genuinely help people see the world differently. It makes accessibility a real factor.
Absolutely. A really powerful perspective. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground. Bringing it all together, what are the main takeaways? If someone's trying to choose.
Well, it's clear both the iPhone 16 series and the Samsung Galaxy S24, S25 series are, fantastic phones, but with different strengths.
Right.
iPhone often wins on ease of use, that straightforward camera experience we talk about,
Yeah.
strong performance, and how well everything works together in the Apple ecosystem.
The walled garden, but it works well.
Exactly. Samsung offers more versatility, maybe? Features like the S Pen, DeX.
Yeah.
They push display tech hard, and they're going all in on AI right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Xiaomi 15 Ultra as this, photography powerhouse.
Yeah.
And OnePlus 13 offering great specs, offered for less money. So the best phone, it really, really depends on what you prioritize. Camera, battery, software, specific features, ecosystem.
Yeah, that camera philosophy difference really stood out to me. Apple's it just works point and shoot versus Samsung's here are all the tools, figure it out.
It's a definite split. And neither is inherently better, just different. Depends on the user. And that accessibility angle with the zoom lenses, that's something I'll definitely think about more now.
Me too. So for anyone listening, the advice is think about how you actually use your phone most days.
Precisely. Quick snaps of the kids. Hardcore gaming. Using it for work notes and emails. Which features we discussed actually resonate with your daily life.
And don't just take our word for it, or even just the reviews.
No, definitely dig deeper if something caught your eye. Watch specific video comparisons, like camera tests in lighting you actually encounter. Check user forums for what people say after months of use. And if you can,
go help them.
Yeah. Go to a store, feel them in your hand, see how that S24 compactness feels versus the S25 Ultra size, or how that iPhone camera button feels. Your perfect flagship is out there. Hopefully this discussion helped narrow down the search a bit.
I think it definitely did. Lots to consider. Thanks for breaking it all down. And thanks everyone for joining us on The Deep Dive.